Marketing Situation Analysis. I'm Dave Alexander. Are you dancing on a moving carpet? The outcome of this session is for you to understand the use of analytical tools to monitor and to respond to the competitive environment that we all work within. We want to be able to assess and evaluate a market landscape using Porter's 5 forces and other tools. All of these tools that I'll be talking about will be used within a marketing audit. So, the overview for the session. The marketing audit, what is it, when to do it, and what tools we should use. The internal, macro and micro environments, and then finally Porter's 5 forces as a tool to use during the marketing audit. So, what is a marketing audit? Well, Kotler and Keller, 2006, tell us that a marketing audit is a comprehensive, systematic, independent and periodic examination of a company's business unit's marketing environment, its objectives, its strategies. We need to determine the problem areas and therefore be able to recommend a strategic way forward. The key words in this quote here from Kotler and Keller are comprehensive, systematic, independent and periodic. If a marketing audit is none of these, it won't be comprehensive enough. We won't have looked at all the different aspects that are available to us and that are affecting our company and our marketing environment. And therefore, the decisions we make will be wrong. If our audit is not independent, if we look at our organisation and our competitors through those rose-tinted spectacles, again, our decision-making will not be right. So these key words, comprehensive, systematic, independent and periodic. It's all very well doing an audit, but they must be done on a regular basis because the competitive landscape, because the competitive environment, because the factors that we have no control over change on a daily basis. An audit must be periodic. So when conducting a marketing audit, there are 3 areas that we must look at. First of all, the internal environment. Secondly, the micro environment. And finally, the macro environment. And I'll discuss those in a moment. So, the internal environment. What's involved with the internal environment? Well, it's not just the marketing department. It's not just new products. The internal environment is the whole of the organisation. So that's all the staff. It's the skills that those staff possess. Where there is a skills gap, perhaps. Do we need to recruit or bring in an agency? What are the systems we have? What are the processes we have within the whole organisation? And not just the marketing department, but the whole organisation. And one tool we can use is McKinsey's 7S model. And I won't be talking about that today, but McKinsey's 7S model looks at all these different areas throughout the whole organisation and is just one auditing tool we can use to audit the internal environment. The macro environment. What is the macro environment? It's all the factors that change on a day-to-day basis, but we have no control over. And you see here we have Steeple plus E, and that is one tool that we use to assess that macro environment. So what does Steeple plus E stand for? Social, technological, environmental, economic, political, legal, education and employment. And then that finally is ethics. These are all factors that, as an organisation, we don't have any control over the economic environment. We cannot tell whether the UK, for example, will go into a double-dip recession. We cannot change the fact the government are putting up the VAT rate to 20% from January 2010. But will have a major impact on society, will have a major impact on business. So these factors, they change, and we need to know how they're changing and is a key part of any audit that we do. Socially, how has society changed? How has society changed just in the last 2 years? So if you haven't done some sort of macro analysis in that 2 years, then society would have moved on. So what you're recommending, the decisions you're making based on your out-of-date audit, will be exactly that, will be out of date. Now, I'm not here to talk about the internal environment or the external environment, but you need to know that an audit is not just a micro environment. You need to know that there are these other factors involved as well. But I'd like to move on now to the micro environment. Now, these are aspects that are outside of our organisation, but we do have some control over. And that's the difference between micro and macro. We do have some control over that micro environment. One key tool for analysing that micro environment is Porter's 5 forces, devised by Michael Porter in the 80s. Okay, so we have 5 key areas that we need to assess as part of that micro environment. First of all, if we look at the top there, we have potential entrants. What is the threat of new entrants coming into our market? Buyers. What is their power? What is the power buyers have over us? The power of suppliers. What power do they hold over us? We also, at the bottom there, have the threat of substitute products. And then finally, the final aspect of Porter's 5 forces is the industry competitors, the rivalry within our competitive market. So with supplier power, how easy is it for suppliers to drive prices up? Are there loads of suppliers we can choose from? Or is there just one? If we only have one supplier of that raw material, for example, they have almost absolute power over us. They can charge what they like. How unique is what it is they're supplying? The cost to us as an organisation. What is the cost to us if we are to switch suppliers, to try to find another supplier? See, the fewer choices we have in business about suppliers, the greater power they have. With buyers, we need to think about how easy it is for them to change. How easy it is for them to change who they buy from. If they're buying in bulk from us in the B2B industry, for example, we might only have 3 buyers. So if one of them goes elsewhere to one of our competitors, they have a lot of power to drive those prices down. What is the cost to them of switching to another supplier of our product or our service? If it's low, then they can move at any given point. Maybe we haven't tied them into a contract or something like that with a service level agreement. So if we only have a few buyers, they dictate prices to us. Competitive rivalry. How many competitors are competing in that same environment, selling similar products or services? How strong are they? How good is their advertising? How aggressive is it? What is their prices? Are they undercutting us? Is the quality of their goods better? We need to consider these factors when looking at the competitive rivalry. Substitute products. What else will do what it is we do? If they're not going to buy our product, if our consumers are not going to buy our product, what other substitute products are there that they can buy? With mobile telephones, we have things like Skype. With CDs, we have products like iTunes, where we can just download. We don't need to go and buy a CD. How easy is it for our consumers to use these or find these substitute products? New entrants to the market. What is the threat of new entrants? We need to think about how high the barriers to entry are into our particular market? Would an organisation need an awful lot of resource to enter our market? Well, yeah, maybe they will. But who's to stop an organisation that already has a lot of resources, someone like Tesco's or Virgin, entering our new market? They have resources already. So what are our barriers to entry? Are we the main player? Are we the key player with 70% of the market share, which may stop new entrants coming in? Do we have patents on our products or on the technology to ensure that it's harder for people to enter our market? These are the questions we need to ask when assessing the threat of new entrants into our market. So poor firms ignore their competitors. Average firms copy their competitors. Winning firms lead their competitors. Thank you very much. That was Marketing Situation Analysis. I've been David Alexander.